Have you ever wondered why over $3 billion has been made from the voices of dead black stars, while their lives taught us the cost of being heard too late? From Whitney Houston's voice echoing louder after 2012 to Prince's secret vault of songs discovered only once he was gone. Here are 20 things we learned after black musicians died. 1. Whitney Houston. She passed away in 2012, but Whitney Houston's voice didn't. Her music kept playing. Radio still played her songs. People sang along, trying to sound like her. Her songs became more than music. They became memories, stories, and hope. We thought her voice would stop after she died, but it got louder. This happened with other stars too. When Prince died, he left more than clothes and a guitar. He had hidden songs. After he was gone, people found them. It was like finding treasure. His strange words made more sense. Michael Jackson's old songs showed how his mind worked. Otis Redding had a song that became a big hit after he passed. He didn't get to see it happen, but the song didn't stop. Even after death, their music kept growing. Their songs showed who they were. Whitney sang her pain. Prince hid his fight in guitar sounds. Marvin Gaye's sad songs had deep meaning. Aaliyah, who died young, left music that still inspires new singers. Their music was more than songs. It was history. These stars showed us something important. Black talent doesn't end with death. Their beats still play in museums. Clothes still copy their style. People still sing their songs. But behind all the lights and sounds, what was hiding? Second, Nina Simone. The piano echoed with deep emotion when Nina Simone played and sang. Her music moved people, but after she died in 2003, we learned more about her hard life. Every song she sang came from pain that was hard to carry. People saw her as a legend, but her real life was full of struggle. She had bipolar disorder. She left her home country. She lost money and friends. She also lost her peace. Fame made her known, but it didn't keep her safe. After she passed, people told her story in books and movies. Songs like For Women were not just songs. They were cries for help. Mississippi Goddam wasn't just a protest song. It was her deeply. She didn't just sing about history, she lived it, and she wasn't the only one. Donny Hathaway died in 1979. He heard voices in his head. Phyllis Hyman had a beautiful voice, but deep sadness. She died in 1995. Michael Jackson was scared and couldn't sleep. Whitney Houston smiled on stage but had years of sadness. People loved their shows but didn't see their pain. After they died, we listened differently. Old songs sounded like quiet cries. Smiles in photos looked like masks. We danced to their pain without knowing it. Now we see that being famous doesn't mean being okay. Fame doesn't protect people from hurt. Being loved by many doesn't mean someone is truly cared for. So why do we wait until it's too late to really listen? 3. Aretha Franklin. The voice that moved the world belonged to Aretha Franklin. She won many Grammys, sang for presidents, and got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But when she died in 2018, people saw something deeper. All those shiny awards didn't protect her from unfair treatment. Behind the music, Aretha was fighting, not for applause, but for fairness. She wanted control over her songs. She wanted respect as a black woman in a music world mostly run by white men. She wasn't asking for a pat on the back. She wanted what was right. She learned early to protect herself. Every time she performed, she asked for her money in cash before singing. She put it in her purse and only then started the show. Some people laughed at her. They said she was being too careful. But after she died, we saw the truth. She wasn't being dramatic. She was being smart. Many black artists before her had been tricked or paid unfairly. Aretha knew trophies didn't stop people from stealing your work. Awards could honor her, but they couldn't keep her safe from injustice. Even with cheers and claps, she had to guard her music because someone was always ready to take it. And she wasn't the only one. Ray Charles had to fight in court. James Brown spoke out and was treated like a criminal. Billie Holiday was hunted by agents even while people loved her songs. When Aretha died, it wasn't just about sadness. People started to understand. Her songs weren't only for fun. Respect wasn't just a hit. It was a warning. Each award she got meant she had made it through another battle. 4. Sam Cooke. A voice that made people stop and listen, Sam Cooke was also smart. He started his own music label, something rare for a black man, in the 1950s and 60s. But in 1964, it all ended. His death was fast and full of questions. A cheap motel, a gun, a lot of mystery. The police said it was self-defense, but his body told another story. He had bruises, things didn't add up, money was gone, witnesses changed their words. Some thought maybe he had become too powerful. He wasn't just making songs, he was helping civil rights and lifting up other black singers. He wanted control. In a world where black people weren't allowed much power, maybe Sam had gone too far. His death wasn't just sad, it was a warning. Fame didn't save him. Maybe it made him a target. The more he tried to lead, the more he scared people in charge. We've seen this before. Tupac, Biggie, Jam Master Jay. They rose, then fell. Their voices were strong, but they were taken too soon. When black voices get too strong, who tries to silence them? 5. The Notorious B.I.G. When the Notorious B.I.G. died in 1997, people were heartbroken. His songs played on every radio, walls filled with his picture. Everyone missed him. But behind all the love, something else was happening. People were not just remembering him, they were trying to make money from him. Lawyers came in. Companies wanted to use his name and his music, his face, his words, even his name turned into things to sell. People who never met him were now in charge. They saw money, not memories. His family and close friends had to fight just to protect who he was. His songs stayed popular, but the money didn't always go to the right people. The same thing happened after Nipsey Hussle died in 2019. He didn't just rap, he helped his community. He built stores, gave jobs, and shared hope. But when he died, his name and message got big fast. His face was everywhere. Sales shot up. But again, those close to him had to deal with people wanting to sell his image, his name, and even his words. This keeps happening. Aaliyah's music disappeared for years because of legal fights. Prince had a vault of songs people wanted to use. Tupac's name went from hand to hand, with others making choices he never could. Their voices stayed alive, but their control was gone. That's the scary part. When a famous black artist dies, their work becomes a product. Their legacy becomes something to sell. And the love we show? It can be used to make money. The louder we play the songs, the more people try to own them. 6. Otis Redding. A plane crash took Otis Redding's life at just 26. Days later, his song, The Dock of the Bay, became #1. The world cheered. But the money didn't help his dreams. It went to music companies and contracts. Otis made something beautiful. The music world got rich. But his family? They didn't get much. The people running the music business got the rewards. His loved ones were left with memories and very little else. This happens again and again. Marvin Gaye died at the hands of his own father. Even though his songs played everywhere, he died owing money. The cash came in after, but not for the right people. Young musicians often sign papers they don't understand. These papers stay even after they die. The deals trap their music even in death. Even big stars get caught. When Michael Jackson died, his estate made billions. But court fights followed. Juice WRLD and XXXTentacion died young. Their teams rushed to release music. People listened. The money flowed. But those choices weren't made by the artists. They were already gone. Otis once wanted to own his music and help others. But the system didn't change. It got richer. Artists pour heart into songs. Labels count the cash. The moment the music stops, the business starts, and it doesn't wait for anyone. 7. Aaliyah. Only 22 years old, Alia died in a plane crash. One moment she was making music and smiling by the sea. The next, she was gone. After her death, people realized how much she had done for music, and how much more she could have done. She only made 3 albums, but each one changed R&B. Her voice was soft but strong. Her songs were calm and cool, but still powerful. With help from Timbaland and Missy Elliott, she made music that sounded new and different. She was just getting started, but her time was cut short. Fans looked for everything she left behind. They listened to old songs and watched her last music video. She had also acted in a vampire movie and was going to be in big films like the Matrix sequels. She wasn't just rising, she was about to become a star. But her story ended too early. We never saw what came next. Some people don't get to finish their journey. Some bright lights go out fast, and we are left wondering what could have been. Later, her music was not online because of legal problems. It felt like she was gone again. But her style stayed alive. New singers sounded like her, even if they hadn't heard all her songs. 8. Miriam Makeba. She didn't just sing, Miriam Makeba fought. Her voice didn't ask for attention, it demanded it. People called her Mama Africa. She didn't sing to be famous, she sang to fight for justice. She mixed African sounds with protest. Every beat had meaning, every word had power. When others were quiet, she spoke up. The world listened, even when her own country turned its back on her. Makeba stood against apartheid in South Africa. After she spoke at the United Nations, her country took away her passport. She couldn't go home for 30 years. But she kept going. She sang around the world. Her concerts were full of truth. She sang with other great artists. She told the world about the pain in South Africa. Her music didn't hide. It was strong and real. She sang in her own language. She didn't change for others. Her songs reached far. They helped people understand her country's pain. Her songs are still used today in schools and in protests. They tell real stories. They carry history. 9. Peter Tosh. He didn't stay quiet. Peter Tosh spoke up, loud and clear. While others sang softly about peace, Tosh made music that hit hard. His words were strong and clear, like a sword. His songs didn't just sound good, they had a message. Tosh was more than just a member of the Wailers. He had his own voice, and he used it to speak out. When he started his solo career, he didn't stop fighting. His songs like Equal Rights and Legalize It were not just fun to listen to. They were about real problems. He said words others were too scared to say. He talked about racism, unfair laws, and mistreatment from those in power. But telling the truth made life hard for him. He was beaten. He wasn't played on the radio. People tried to ignore him. But Tosh didn't give up. He believed music could fight back. For him, singing wasn't just for fun, it was a way to stand up and fight. In 1987, Tosh died in a tragic and scary way. After that, there was silence. But not for long. Even after his death, his songs kept speaking. Tosh's voice was buried, but it wasn't gone. Maybe it was only the beginning. 10. Bill Withers. Without making a big scene, Bill Withers left music. He didn't cry out for attention. He just quietly stepped away. But his songs? They stayed with us. He didn't need big lights or huge crowds. His voice was warm and real. His words were simple and true. He didn't sing to be rich or famous. He sang because he cared. That kind of music never gets old. When he died in 2020, the world remembered his songs. During the lockdown, people sang Lean on Me from their windows. It was played at protests and in hospitals. It helped people stay strong. After his death, people listened to his music again. They heard new things in old songs. Grandma's Hands made them think of their families. Use Me showed how pain can also be powerful. We learned that honest music never fades away. It stays with us. Even those who never saw him perform felt close to him. 11. Celia Cruz. Every room lit up when Celia Cruz entered. She danced with energy and dressed in bright colors like the sun. Her voice sounded like a party, full of life and joy. People laughed and danced when she sang. But after she died in 2003, people learned something new. That happiness we saw on stage was not easy. It came with pain. She was born in Havana, Cuba, but after the revolution, she left and was not allowed to go back. Her name was taken off records in her home country. Her songs were banned. Still, she smiled. She kept shouting, "Azúcar," which means sugar. It wasn't just a fun word. It was her way of fighting back. Every dress she wore, every dance she danced, was her armor. She used joy like a shield. She made people smile so they wouldn't see her pain. Photos later showed her crying while kissing the ground in Miami. Her smile was strong, but it was also sad. Her lesson? Happiness can be powerful. It can fight. She turned sadness into songs. When the world tried to silence her, she sang louder. Sometimes, laughter is the strongest cry. 12th Curtis Mayfield. He made music that gave people hope. Curtis Mayfield's songs talked about justice and rising up. He helped people believe in a better tomorrow. But one day in Brooklyn, something went wrong. A heavy light fell on him. His spine broke. He couldn't move. That happened in 1990. Many people would stop, but not Mayfield. He lay on his back and made one last album. He could barely breathe, but he kept going. He sang one line at a time between short breaths. No fancy show, just hard work. That last album wasn't about being famous. It was about telling the truth. Even when his body gave up, his spirit didn't. He kept singing. After he died in 1999, more people saw how strong he really was. He didn't just make songs, he carried pain, struggle, and truth. When he was alive, he didn't get the praise he deserved. But after he died, people made documentaries. They honored his courage. He wasn't just a singer, he was like a quiet fire, burning strong. The stage gave him fame, but it also hurt him. 13th, Donny Hathaway. He died after falling from a tall building in New York in the late 1970s. Donny Hathaway was said to have taken his own life, but after he was gone, something stayed. His voice. It kept playing, reaching people, touching hearts. Donny didn't disappear. He lived on through others. Many artists who came after him didn't just like his music. They used parts of it in their own songs. You could hear Donny in Lauryn Hill's quiet singing, in Alicia Keys's calm power, and in John Legend's deep voice. His music didn't stop. It grew. His songs, like A Song for You, became special to many. Other singers didn't just copy them. They tried to feel what he felt. His songs with Roberta Flack showed love and pain at the same time. Even after he died, his music felt more powerful. Donny's sound became a part of music history. Hip-hop and soul singers used his piano sounds and voice in their own songs. He wasn't forgotten. After Donny passed, we learned something important. When someone shares their true feelings in music, that feeling doesn't go away. It comes back in new voices, singing the same heart. 14. Phyllis Hyman. Her presence commanded the room as if she ruled the sky. Phyllis Hyman's voice gave people chills. She looked strong and full of light. But behind the powerful image, she was hurting. One summer day in the 1990s, before a show, Phyllis ended her life. People were shocked. Her songs had helped so many. But she had been fighting pain for a long time. Behind her beauty and talent was someone tired and sad. We learned a hard truth. Someone can look happy and still be hurting deep inside. Phyllis had talked about her depression, but most people didn't really listen. Her pain was quiet. It hid behind smiles, behind her lovely dresses, and perfect singing. Her last note to the world said she was just tired, not sleepy, soul tired. A kind of tiredness no nap can fix. After she died, people listened to her songs in a new way. They finally heard the pain. Songs like Living All Alone didn't just sound nice. They felt like cries for help. Old Friend felt like a goodbye. Her music was always honest, but we didn't hear it until it was too late. After her passing, more singers began to speak about their mental health. She wasn't weak. She was tired from hiding the truth. Her beauty was a shield. and when it broke, her pain came out. 15. James Mtume. When James Mtume died in 2022, New York lost more than a person. It lost a special sound. Mtume made music that felt like the heartbeat of the city. His song, Juicy Fruit, wasn't just a hit. It was a soft, smooth sound that moved through the streets. It played in cars, parties, and small clubs. His music felt like it belonged to the city itself. But after he was gone, things felt different. It was like the city got quieter. We began to notice that cities don't just lose people or buildings. They lose the beat that once made them feel alive. Mtume didn't just make songs, he helped create the feeling of New York. When he passed, that feeling changed. His beats were the base for other stars. Artists like Stephanie Mills, Roberta Flack, and Donny Hathaway built their music on what he made. But Mtume wasn't just a musician, he also spoke up. He told the truth about how music was taken and sold. His voice in interviews was as strong as his music. After his death, we saw how much he mattered. A city's real rhythm comes from the people who live there and make music, not from buildings or big events. Mtume gave New York its walk, its groove. And when he was gone, the beat slowed down. But his song didn't end. 16th, Manu Dibango. Then in 2020, the world lost another sound. Manu Dibango from Cameroon died. His saxophone could melt borders. His song, Soul Makossa, was loved everywhere, from New York to Paris. Music didn't need a passport. His sound traveled on its own. Dibango didn't explain with words. He let the music talk, and everyone understood. After he died, the silence felt louder. The links between sounds felt weaker. His sax held everything together. His music lived on. Michael Jackson and Rihanna used parts of his work. But Dibango wasn't just a piece of music. He was the root. After he passed, people followed the music back to him. He didn't stay in one box. He moved through styles like water. He played with stars. But he always kept his roots. That's what made him special. Even after he was gone, his music stayed strong. It didn't need words. It had rhythm, feeling, soul. Each time someone plays his music, they remember. Dibango's music showed us that true sound travels far. It carries stories, hope, joy, and pain. He gave all of that. 17th, Amadou Bagayoko. He couldn't see, but he could play the guitar like magic. Amadou Bagayoko lost his sight when he was a kid, but that didn't stop him. When he picked up a guitar, it was like he found a new way to see. He didn't need light. He needed sound, and with sound, he made something beautiful. Every note he played was like a story. His guitar sang about dreams, memories, and feelings that pictures could never show. Amadou didn't let blindness stop him. He used it. He listened more. He felt more. His guitar became his voice, a voice that didn't need words. He wasn't great despite being blind. He was great because of how he lived with it. With his wife Miriam, he made music that mixed old Malian sounds with new styles. Their songs made people dance in cities all around the world. Their music wasn't just for fun. It connected people. Amadou built that connection with his fingers and his heart. When he died in 2022, people listened again. Songs like Je Pensais à Toi and Sabali felt even deeper. They realized there were feelings in those songs they hadn't heard before. Big stars like Manu Chao didn't just play with him, they learned from him. 18. Ronnie Wilson. He didn't yell, but Ronnie Wilson's music made people move. You might not know his face, but you know his sound. Ronnie was part of the Gap Band. He wasn't the singer in the front, but he was the beat behind it all. From his keyboard and horn came music that made you dance before you even knew it. When he died in 2021, people stopped and looked back. They listened again. They saw how much of today's music came from the sounds he helped make. Songs like You Dropped a Bomb on Me and Outstanding weren't just fun. They were the base of new music. Rappers and producers used his sounds to build their own. Ronnie didn't just play, he built. While his brother Charlie sang, Ronnie made the beat under the voice. His music got sampled by stars like Snoop Dogg and Mary J. Blige. Even when his name wasn't known, his music was everywhere. Here's what we learned. Some people create so well that we forget someone had to start it. Ronnie didn't ask for attention. He made music that helped others shine. And when he was gone, we finally saw how much of it started with him. He didn't just help make a band, he helped make a sound. 19. Funerals can dance. In New Orleans, funerals are not quiet. When someone dies, music fills the streets. It's loud, it's full of brass bands, drums, and dancing. People cry, yes, but they also sing and move. That's how they say goodbye. This is called a jazz funeral. It's a special way to honor a person, especially if they were a black musician. The funeral starts with sad songs, but after a while, the music changes. It becomes joyful. People open umbrellas, stomp their feet, and follow the band. This is called the second line. It's not about sitting still. It's about remembering with rhythm. These funerals come from West African traditions. They mix with the history of black people in America. It's not just a fun event. It's a way to stay strong. Music helps people deal with pain. So, in New Orleans, death doesn't end the music. It becomes part of it. People don't just cry, they dance, because sometimes the best way to say goodbye is to sing out loud. 20. Terry Bunchaka. A young music star in Ghana, Terry Bunchaka had long dreadlocks and a wild way of dancing. His songs were fresh and exciting. He mixed old Ghanaian music with new sounds. He made people move. But Terry died in a car crash in 2003. He was very young. Just when his music was starting to grow, it all stopped. People were shocked. He had so much more to give. Terry was different. He didn't copy anyone. He made his own path. His song Pulele was a hit. It played at parties and on the radio. He wore bold clothes and had big dreams. When he died, people cried. They played his songs everywhere. Many young musicians said he was the reason they started making music. His posters stayed on the walls. His name stayed on people's lips. But something was missing. Not just Terry. We missed all the songs he never got to write, all the new styles he would have tried. It felt like a light went out too soon. Terry became a symbol. He showed us how life can be short, how someone so loved can still be taken away. And when that happens, the quiet is very loud. We still remember him, but we also feel the empty space he left behind. Some songs never get to finish. Some voices stop too early, and we carry that silence with us.